Before I got famous, I was still doing bizzo, lad. We won't get into the details, but I was still doing bizzo. Even when I was rapping, nothing serious. Not like before I got locked up. How, remember I told you that yarn, I had a heroin run and I was making fucking 20 grand, 23 grand sales a night. Nothing like that whatsoever. But when I was out, like when I got out of jail this time, and when I was rapping, when I was doing all those songs, I was doing just low-level business. Enough to pay the rent and buy myself shoes and food. Do you get what I mean? We'll just leave it at that. But nothing that harms society, nothing like that, cuz, you know what I mean? Just low-level, andi yazwe, a little bit lazy, stazia tazilen for some andi yazile and rizig gazwe. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's not true. I'm just telling false stories right now. But anyway, let's pretend I'm telling a real story. Let's get over that. There you go. There's the big disclaimer. Andi Aziz and that. Anyway, so I stopped all that shit a few years ago now. No more. But when that stopped, you like my disclaimer? You like my disclaimer, lads? Anyway, in that fairy tale, so the last place in this lie that I'm telling you right now, the last place that I ever done bizzo, I was living just up here on the main, it's just across the road from the pizza store we're gonna eat at actually. I'll show you where I was living in this false story that I wish was true. And it was around the time that, I don't know if you remember, do you remember when I started, I went from rapping and I started telling the yarns and I started doing things like the Hood Logic series? Well, the Hood Logic series all happened in these streets we are now. In fact, one of the Hood Logics, I'll show you where they all happened. The one about searching cars and the bush maneuver and the double back. Do you remember the Hood Logic of the caddy, the cat burglary? And how I said, and what you do is you go up on usually the first floor and the second floor, you can climb up them, the balconies are unlocked and you go in and you come out with the key. The cat burglary, the caddy. Do you remember that Hood Logic? It got deleted a long time ago off social media. It was never on YouTube, but it was one of the Hood Logics. It was one of the first ones. It was around the time of all the other ones. So this is going back to when people when I was just telling the stories of my life and just sort of like giving, in a troll way. I was definitely doing it in a troll way. I was 100% doing it with the mannerisms and the smirk to make people upset. That's why I'm famous now. Like, sorry to say it, but that's how I began. Because you gotta really, you know what I mean? You gotta prey upon those little tricks at the start, cuz, because it's hard for a man to get noticed in this world, cuz. You gotta do your best and run with it. Anyway, that was a little move. But the stories that I told were actual factual stories. So I was just telling stories of the things I'd done when I was a drug addict and how we used to get by. And so I was telling you real stories, like genuinely. I was saying it in a way, like it wasn't telling people ever to do it. And you remember, I never said, you should go out and rob people. I never said that. It was like, when I was a junkie, this is what I used to do. But I used to say it in a way with like a smirk on my face and everyone would be like, yeah, like that, you know what I mean? So it was like, it was mad. It was two birds with one stone. I was telling true stories about my life, but everybody was crying and sharing my stuff. So it was perfect combination. You know what I mean? Hey, how are you? Good. Perfect combination, you know? But anyway, so like, when all of that happened in that like 6-month period, how will I live without you? I wanna know, how will I ever survive? Oh, how will I live? You remember those videos? They were all around these streets, cuz, and it went for a good 6 months and I played it very well. I went in 6-month period, I went from being a local Aussie rapper, just like anyone else in the scene, Michos the Menace or Kid Curvey or just all the local Aussie rappers that were, Spinner Lad and whoever. I went from being just one of those on that level of being known to dead set being Australian famous. I was in the news, I was in the Daily Telegraph, and everybody all over the country hated my guts and everyone wanted to bash me. And do you remember that period? I done all that. I made all of that happen in not even 6 months, in like a 4-month period. And that all happened in these streets and these lanes. It was while I was living up at where we're going to see now. And I just, for the first time in my life, I quit crime. Like I said to myself, like, I'm going to stop crime, bro. Like, not even low level bizzo. I said, like, I can do something. I can do something legit, and I can do this, and I can make this happen. And I took a gamble, cuz, and for the first time in my life, I stopped being a criminal. It's the first time in my life. And I said, I'm going to stop being a criminal. I'm probably going to be broke for a while, because, but I reckon I can do this. I reckon I got the maneuvers. I reckon I got the brains. I reckon I got the stories. I reckon I got the appearance. And I reckon I can be a superstar, lad. That's what I full said. So I'm going to be a superstar, cuz. I swear to God. I full said it, lad. You just remember on my old videos. I can show you old videos, old posts. On my Instagram even. Go into my Reels tab. Go back. I'm a superstar. I'm like that from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Años is a beast. Bro, you know what I mean? And I made it happen. But this is where it all started, cuz. For real. This is where it all started. I took a gamble, and now look at me, cuz. Now just get around like a big Viking, eating pizzas and uninstalling everything. Yeah, I'm better than you. You remember that video? Who remembers that? I'm better than you? I'm glad someone said that. The peak of those videos, I used to go hard, bro. I used to I make everyone cry. But the peak of it and the level of stupidity, it's stupidity not on my behalf. It's not stupidity on my behalf. It's stupidity that it's so easy to trigger people when you're clowning so hard, and it's such a powerful tool that it's actually stupid, cuz. And I made that video, I don't know if you remember, but it was peak of that. It was called I'm Better Than You. And I pretty much just went into my phone and went, I'm better than you. I'm better than you, lad. Wow, have a look at me, but I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I just done that, cuz. It was like a boomerang, and bro, that was pinnacle of like, oh, kill this and go back to your own country, piece of granny fucking dog. That was the pinnacle of it. That's what I done. This is how I got famous. Like, I'm not telling you this I'm not just telling you this like it's not meaningful. It's actually very meaningful. These are the videos. Now look at me walk the streets, cuz. I'm arguably Australia's most famous person, bro. I walk around countries on the other side of the world and people know who I am. I walk around countries, look at my YouTube videos. I walk around countries on the other side of the world and people say, Spaniard. I walk through Ireland and kids yell out, Spaniard, lad, I want to be on your YouTube video. Like, you get that? Like, that's the level it's at now. I walk around, like I'm saying, bro, watch my YouTube videos. I walk around the other side of the world and people on the other side of the world are, Spaniard, come here, let me in your video. And all of that happened from just someone standing in these little lanes here.